Board questions, comments, or concerns? With that, let's take a vote on the agenda. All in favor say aye. Aye. And all opposed say nay.
Oh, thank you, Chairman. Sorry. Thank you. Oh.
With that, let's take a vote on the agenda. All in favor say aye.
We
need to mute the screen.
Okay.
There we go. Next on the agenda is public comment. And next on the agenda is new business. We have consider and approve holiday parade date change.
I'll talk to that. Yeah, so basically, I think it was maybe September, we had talked about the date change that Rotary would like to propose, as they have been facilitating our parade now. I think maybe this is the third year. And we did some surveying. Their thought was combining them with holiday open house, which just isn't going to work. So they came back with the thought of the second Saturday in December going forward. And they also would like to change the time back to a daytime parade starting at 10 o'clock. Their thoughts on that was that it's for a whole little bit better for downtown. The streets then will open back up at 11:30 noon, encourage shopping and dining throughout the rest of the day. And then also the thought with this date change is, case in point, like this year, I think we have 20 entries in the parade, which it's just so hard to get people to, a lot of people do visit up here during Thanksgiving weekend. But with the date, it's really hard to get a lot of local organizations to participate because they themselves travel, go out of town, staffing issues. So that's in the memo, I list those things as well. So that is their staff recommendation to suggest to recommend the date change and the time change. I do think that it would be a better opportunity to get more people that would participate, because I mean, just how many times we in Rotary here, oh, we won't be in town, oh, we don't have the staff for it. And it's issues that we've ourselves experienced when we used to do the parade, and that we've experienced throughout kind of the life of the parade, really. But yeah. Any questions?
Yes, board questions, comments, concerns, discussion.
So have we looked at future calendars to see how far out into December the second Saturday would be?
We did look at next year. And the thought with the second Saturday in December is so the second Saturday next year is December 14th. It seems to stay around that 14th, 15th area. But the second Saturday thought is that it's also, I talked with the band and they said it was better for because we would like to have both bands, the marching band and the steel drum band in it. And now Dwayne that I talked to, he did suggest the second Saturday as well, that it just works better for them. They don't have anything on their calendars for those dates or for that date, especially going forward. But that is, something else to keep in mind is weather too. But I mean, we have bad weather in November normally. So, but it seems to stay around that 13th, 14th, 15th area. Let's see, like
Can't go later than 14th, could it?
It could be the 14th, but like in 2029, it would put it on the 8th. And the first Friday would be the 7th, which would be open house directly into it.
So let's see. 2029, you said?
Yeah, 2029.
That could be a good thing.
Keep the streets closed.
But how would, for 2029, how would that work if it's?
So the first would be a Saturday, which would mean the second Saturday is the 8th.
Yeah, so the second weekend, yeah.
Yeah.
So would people be able to understand the parade is the second Saturday, or would they think it's the week after open house?
Wait,
because
what
that's
year is that?
2029.
You say second full weekend, like they have.
I think by then it would be, yeah.
I think we got some kinks to work out.
Yeah, I've got time, there's plenty of time, but I just,
Right.
when I look at that happening, does it make sense to go second Saturday? Does it make sense to be the Saturday after open house? I think the open house is clearly the number one event in downtown every year.
Oh, yeah.
If it floats just enough to put it off.
Drew,
Yes.
you had a comment too, just a second.
Oh, do you just
You're
say,
on your mic though. We gotta really be careful with our mics tonight. We haven't been careful and it's hard to take the, for Sarah to do the minutes without.
Sorry, yes, I think, what if we just say that it's the second full weekend?
Which is.
Because we say, yes,
Yeah.
because open house is the first full weekend.
I think in, going forward with marketing tactics too, it would be advertised as the second Saturday in the month. And I think it might also give us a little bit of extra time as a downtown too. Because lately we have ladies opening night, the parade, holiday open house, so it's so many things right away, right in the beginning of December and the end of November, and this might bring some things into December, which could help with holiday shopping and that kind of thing.
Get 4 weeks. Open night, Thanksgiving weekend.
Exactly,
That's sorry, open house parade.
yeah, which could be nice.
You could think of how you're gonna market, once you choose the date, you could decide how you're gonna market it after
Yeah.
that, but. But it was good to think ahead, both of you, but.
And I've heard from some retailers that they like a daytime parade. Because of the fact that then the streets are closed earlier. So it doesn't really interfere with like the daytime, like now, since the parade starts at 6 o'clock, the streets close down at 4:35 and then everyone runs out to their car at, 4 o'clock and you have to move it. If they move it and, but with a daytime parade, they're already closed in the morning and then they're open by noon. And then you can shop and dine throughout the whole rest of the day. Which, I think could be really beneficial.
I've always been in favor of the morning parade. I think our sales throughout the whole day were better.
It's consistently,
Cause it used to be that Saturday was a bigger day for us than Friday, and that switched when the parade went to evening.
went to night. And the thought with moving it to the night was then you could see the Christmas lights and stuff like that. But I've also noticed some parade participants that we've had in the past, when it was a daytime parade, don't participate in the nighttime parade, like the Humane Society. You can't see the dogs, you're not gonna light up a bunch of dogs, so it's just kind of interesting, and we looking back at our records, the morning parades, we had, a lot of nice participants too. I don't think, we're missing anything by going back to I don't think the Christmas lights are gonna be missed that much,
First, I think it was the first year. I cannot remember which construction company it was. I think it might have been
Gibson,
That was
the best float ever.
daytime,
Yeah.
nighttime parade ever.
Yeah.
Best float.
Yeah.
And it was just really well lit.
And it was super long and it was,
And there's some
Meeting or something, yeah.
really beautiful display. They put a lot of effort into.
yeah,
And I think the goal of moving it to the night was to see
more of that.
more of that. And we got it the first time. and I was like,
Mhm.
oh, people are gonna see this and now others are gonna get, it's gonna create this battle of who can have the best float. But that didn't happen whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think Gibson's did it the first year, then I don't think they did it.
I don't think so either.
So,
did a couple of years.
there might have been a couple, but they definitely weren't there last year, or the year
Yeah.
before, so it didn't build up like we had hoped.
Exactly. And I think for, who the parade is for our merchants and restaurants and stores downtown, we should look at what that is, who it's beneficial for.
And it's also geared towards kids, right?
Yeah. So are you
I'd
gonna
much
bring
prefer to
it?
get them up in the morning and take them than.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
And the parade is for children. Can you remind me when the tree lighting is? Is that on open
That's
house night?
Yeah,
Okay.
but they do light the tree for the parade, correct, right, Becky?
They lit the tree,
They light it,
unlit it.
and then they
We might
unlight
have
it,
done
right?
that one year and that might
Oh,
have been
but they
last year,
keep
we
it-
talked about that,
Yeah.
but. But the official lighting is open house.
Okay.
I don't think you're right that they lit it
I
early.
could be wrong. I think we lit the parade before the whole.
And don't they turn it off again? or
Yes.
something?
maybe.
I thought, but I'm not sure, yeah.
In recent years that they did. that.
Yeah.
Nobody has to do this anymore.
That's exactly one of the other thoughts is then the tree will be lit, you know, for the parade too.
Well, with a nighttime parade on Saturday evening, that Saturday after Thanksgiving is typically Harbor Springs tree lighting as well, which then it.
It
Like-
combats a lot of,
Yeah.
yeah,
so
and that's what
I
we
like
found
it
too, is
moving.
that the second Saturday, you don't really go up a lot.
Yeah.
of
Well, I think it was
so.
a lot of events that we would do coincidentally. Harbor had scheduled the same within very short order.
It's funny how that works. Well, I mean, it seems like there's a lot of momentum for a lot of groups that want it to be on this date.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That for a lot of the stakeholders.
And I will say that if we do approve of this date change and time. We as staff would like to put together a, obviously then it really ties Rotary into it, gets their commitment for the next year. We don't have to come to them in August and say, hey, you're gonna do our parade again. We would like to come up with a contract with them of things that we would like to, okay, we changed our date, parade and time, basically, you know, a little bit for you guys, but these are what we expect. These are the things that the parade has to have, like an MC, like a, well, you know, a pretty well done lineup, which are things that they haven't done in the past, which I think are things that the parade, you know, could be lacking a little bit. And have an agreement of our expectations for working with them and that kind of thing, so.
Absolutely agree.
Fabulous. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the date change for the downtown Petoskey Holiday Parade.
We have a motion on the table. Do we have a second?
A second.
Any further board questions, comments, concerns, discussion? Public input? With that, we'll vote. All in favor of the proposed date change? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right. Next on the agenda is report by Downtown Management Board Committee.
Okay, we'll start out with parking and April is here, way across the room. Hi, April.
Hi, April.
Hi. Just a couple of quick things. The parking committee didn't meet this month. But we did meet with St. Francis and their advisory board. One of the things that they asked for is a parking permit just for them from like 2:45 to 3:15 for the kids. So we said we would bring that back to the committee and have discussions about it. So that'll be on next month. When you said, it was just staff that met with. The advisory, that met with the advisory, it's just the two of us that went over there. Sorry, what was your question? Well, it sounded like you said that we all met with.
No, I just said we look forward to discussing.
Oh. Yes.
I believe the rest of the committee would back up their opinion.
Well, we needed to carry a message. So we will be carrying. Yep. Then the next thing, the holiday meter sponsors, Andy designed 3 different design options. So this will start on Monday through January 2nd. And we actually have 30 participants, which is $5,800. 9, which is more than we had last year. So that's that. It was due on Friday. Last Friday.
If there's anyone. You picked it.
But for bribery, Andy may make some more.
I'd be happy to do it. It's up to you, boss.
I mean, speak now.
Yeah. Cricketry would like one if.
Okay, so please send me an email with, do you still have the sheets? Options? All right, please come to the parking office tomorrow morning or contact me before 10, please. That way I have people that can do it before the holiday.
Oh, it goes up this weekend?
Monday morning.
Oh, Monday morning.
Monday morning.
The
But
reminder right here.
that's okay.
got it in my email. It's right here.
There's exciting
Right.
things in the parking world, so. Okay, the only other highlight is October year over year, we're actually up $8,000. 3,000 in meters, 3,000 in fines, and 2,000 in permits.
Wow.
Sure. Thank you very much. Any questions, comments, concerns for April regarding the parking committee?
So do we pick from one of these designs?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, do we have a barnacle?
Yes,
I
it's,
saw it in Memphis.
it's in the parking office.
Yeah,
Wait, really?
Yes.
Can I get one?
It-
We'll talk.
Well, I was gonna bring it, but we didn't have the parking committee, so I didn't necessarily want to bring it forward first, but yeah, it's really cool. Easy. It's a little heavier than I thought it was gonna be. But
We probably only need one.
the what?
We probably only need one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
they're useful.
completely agree.
Second
Oh, yeah. If you have, I can bring it down tomorrow.
one. Oh,
Show it 10 hours.
am I not supposed to park in your lot?
it's.
Am I supposed to be there either?
It's everybody else each other, take that all summer.
Well, April did arrange a conference call so that we were, all staff met with the people that developed this and own the rights and sell it. And they did a demonstration and we had Rocky from Public Safety there and learned a lot and I was gonna bring it to the parking committee when they meet again and we're still waiting from the city attorney to see if this is gonna be allowed and legal, but the wheels of municipalities turn slowly, so it takes a while.
Cool.
Nice work, April.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I would add to that the trolley season is over and I did do a trolley report. And the parking committee has not seen this yet. And it isn't 100% complete because I did ask Bayview. And I believe I asked you and Jennifer, but I can't find the emails. I want sponsor input to add to this, so I'll send you an email on it. Bayview wanted to have some sponsor input, but they want to see it, this draft report as well, so. The next step is just to get those to fill in here, but just so you guys all know, we had an average of 55 people a day. It's broken down for how many riders every day of the year, what the expenses were, what the revenue was, and obviously it costs more to run than. We didn't make anything on it. There's a whole list of the driver comments when they had the wrap up meeting and schedules to go forward. And I'm hoping that when the parking committee gets to I'm hoping the parking mobility and accessibility committee gets to look at all of this, that they can make a good recommendation for next year. So this will be part of April's job as parking mobility and accessibility director, and she will have a good foundation to start on for how they're going to run it next year. So that was something that was done, and the city attorney did meet with several staff members about their department heads about legal things that are going on in their departments and where they needed advice. And I did talk to him about the barnacle that day and also about moving ahead with major offender collections, and they have moved ahead with our second major offender, serving them with a summons and saying, we have a judgment against you for this amount of money, and getting to pay like the first fellow did that we are still receiving payments from. I think we've gotten 4 from him now, so that makes sense. So the design committee did meet this month, and one of the reasons that they met was because the Public Art Commission was meeting and they wanted some input from the design committee. At least they had said the meeting before, they felt like it was a good time to start out with a public art project that was in the downtown, because they thought it would be seen, and it would be, because the DMB had generously committed money to the fund, it would be a good place to start to be inclusive of the DMB. So I got the design committee together and I got some great comments from them, and you can see those all in your packet. As it turned out at that commission meeting, they already had two suggestions were made, and Megan, maybe you can help me. One of them was at Sunset Park and the other one was Sunset Park, and then the quote unquote new piano project. Oh, that's right. Somewhere, it's not a new piano, it's the concept of the new piano. The piano under the walkway, but potentially that walkway area, the tunnel. something that had the vibe of the
Yeah,
candidates,
right,
they said.
right.
So they kind of are already ready to move on that. And actually, I'm not too concerned about that from what I got from the design committee. I think they need to meet several times and get a very firm concept behind them, because I heard mostly from them what they didn't want and not necessarily so much what they did. So their biggest concern is it's perfect the way it is, don't spoil it. So we'll see where that goes. Then the organization task force did meet. They first time they met this month was with Joel Cato, Jennifer's husband, so helpfully offered to give them some training in how to interview, because interviewing is tricky, you know, and I'm not the best at it. I don't have any. I've certainly done it a lot in the last few years, but that reminds me of something else. But I don't know any special skill on it. So they met with Joel and he trained them in, or gave them good interview training in the who interview technique. And they opted to move ahead with that in their upcoming candidate interview. And I will share with you that in the process of moving ahead for a downtown manager, 24 applications were received. In the end, we interviewed, or the committee, I did not sit in on the interview, one candidate, and that candidate was not selected. And this did come up at city council last night, and those numbers were shared by the city manager and with the council. The committee then met again, and you don't have the notes from this meeting because it was just Monday, to still find a process of moving ahead. And we discussed some of the problems. I told them when I was at the MDA conference, I talked to several people about it. And the problems I was getting in applications are the same as you all know. They have to do with housing, then pitched in even rising mortgage interest rates. You know, if you've got a favorable rate and you live in Oakland County and you have to face 8% up here, and I mean, it's just the professional position for your spouse, if you happen to have one, or a significant other, changing schools. These are all reasons that people are not applying from far around the state. I also, in the conversations that I have with people I've known for years and years, gleaned, nobody said to me outright, oh, that'd be a perfect job to take just before you retire. But I gleaned that from the comments that I was hearing, you know, oh, it's just a little early for me. I want to retire up there. I would love to have that job. But, you know, I think that's something this community needs to keep in their heads and try to work around. I mean, I've heard that about when we went for the city manager, when we went for public safety, that a lot of people think, even when I was hiring for April, I had this fellow from Arizona who wanted to be parking director, and he was a police person in Arizona, and he just, I'm retiring there, this is my perfect job, you know. You do hear this a lot, and this is something you all are going to be dealing with as you move forward. So the committee is looking for a headhunter firm, and we'll select them. We talked, we had a part-time, and I said I would stay on until part-time until the end of March. There are things that need to be done to keep the ball rolling. And that's where we are right now. We got to get this headhunter selected right away. I would also add that the committee will be taking on a new task after the first of the year, and that's to look at the special assessment list that, and I haven't spoken with the committee about this, but there are some gray areas there. We have a new city assessor, and the city assessor is legally the one to sign off on the assessment roll, and he wants to be very comfortable that he's signing off on something that's 100% accurate. And there are things like basements that are being used as commercial space, how are they assessed versus ones that are not, and some of those things have to be looked at and then brought back to the board to make final judgments on and become part of how we assess, because this needs to be done before that happens next year. Vacant properties, just little tweaky things that someone with new fresh eyes noticed, and he said, well, just because you've been doing it that way forever doesn't mean that's how you should be doing it. So that's going to be new work for after the first of the year. And I also want to mention under employees that April did hire someone new, and it was actually just in the nick of time because we lost someone old. Bob Knowles did, his last day was last Friday. He's moving on to a job that's not as physical and demanding. He's the cold and the weather and the walking and his hips and, you know, all of that. It takes a toll after a while. So he was a faithful employee and we gave him a little lunch and he'll come. He has agreed that he would come in if we needed him, you know, on an odd occasion. So I wanted to talk to you about the entryway signage. Sign committee met this week. Did you go to a sign committee meeting?
That was this morning. I've been in surgery all day, unfortunately.
Apparently we're gonna need, I don't know what we're gonna need. We need a permit for that sign, and it may not even be, legal. Because if you can remember, I described it to you, I wanted it to look like the Bayview sign, which is like this, but the Bayview sign has two changeable message areas. But I thought the top of ours would say, welcome to downtown Petoskey, or something, downtown Petoskey, match the other entry signage that we had, and then that opening at the bottom. I didn't even want banners like they had, I wanted wood boards that would say, open house this weekend. Sidewalk sales this weekend, you know, and we'd have 6 or 7, 8 of them, whatever we needed, and we would change them out. And as soon as I got to the word change, that's a changeable message sign. Not a lot. I was just.
The city always has to get permits from the city to display the city sign for the events that happen downtown. So if the city can find its way to work with itself, it would be really wonderful.
Can't we apply for a variance or have one requested with the city?
Well, we were working on,
Okay.
Lisa told me she was gonna, the sign committee was gonna meet, it wasn't on their agenda. She was gonna bring it up to them and see what their thoughts were. She was gonna try really hard to find a way to make it work. And I know she wants to, I know everybody, I just can't believe this, but right now we have to find a workaround. That's where we are, and this is the workaround. The ground is not frozen yet, and.
How do they get away with it, Bay Harbor?
It's not in the city of Petoskey.
It's not within the city limits.
It's not in city limits.
And
It can do whatever.
It's not, okay,
It's zoning for downtown.
it's zoned for not CBD. Is that
Right,
what it is?
right.
Okay, got it.
I know, you know, that's private property as well as. You know, I don't know, that's a question, but
It's a whole legal,
because they're.
Foster problem.
And,
yeah, it's a third party agreement with
Right.
Resort Township.
I don't know, that could
That's
be,
the PG term.
Guess I didn't need to open it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't think to ask for that, but.
I mean, it's the same thing with Bayview would be.
I
It's
didn't
still in
think
the
that's what
city of
happened.
Petoskey. I mean, I think it's a commercial business district, which
Sure.
makes that.
Well,
Yeah.
actually,
Correct.
Megan, that is, because that came up and she said they you put that on a private property, so it was allowed there. We're putting it up in public right of way. And that's where the change of the message. As I understood her, that's where the change of the message message is from. So I just wanted to give you an update on that, but. This has to be done. We don't want to continuously be pounding stakes up in the front of the fence. And just putting these banners in there that sag in the middle. It's not us. We just have to find a way, and I'm dedicated to it. I'm just giving you an update, so. I'm almost done here, and then I'm giving the city report because there's no one here, but Shane gave me some notes about it. So I just wanted you to know what we've done for the transition. We have new signage on the parking office door. You probably won't even notice it, but the wording is different. It says lettering. It's just the lettering, and it says DMB office was taken off, and it's being rebranded as to the parking services office. The city logo was included there, so you see the downtown logo, the city logo, and then it just says parking services. We're going to change the lettering along the top as well, which I think it says Petoskey downtown offices now. We're going to change it to parking services, but that is going to require a sign permit also, I was told. I can't just do things. So I'm gonna have to fill out a sign permit and get that done, and then we'll be ready to do that. My desk and computer now are officially in the Lake Street office. I think I've talked to not signage design, Pro Image about lettering for that door, and after taking off the downtown management board office sign from the parking services sign door, I'm thinking about changing the lettering on the Lake Street office to say downtown management board office, downtown marketing and promotions as well, so that those two are combined. Because somebody has to know where this board has an office, and I'm thinking that that's where this new person will stay mostly. This is lettering that can be peeled off if people move, that kind of thing, but that's what we're looking at for there. That's also gonna need a permit, even though it's just replacing what was there, and then there's a place, the holes are in the wall to put downtown management board and marketing office, just like you had to park that projecting sign out there. So that will be done the next week or so. I guess that was all I had for them. There was a lot of technical work that was done when Andy went up there to get the internet and get it ready for her to be there. She has a printer there. And it's still not totally, we can't scan, I guess, from it, but all this is time consuming when you have to get the IT people there from the city, and there's a lot of switching my computer, keeping it up. That was another headache, but all of these little things are getting ironed out, and it's all getting kind of fun now, and it's.
The IT people love us.
You love her.
Well. Say please and thank you.
This was never. Shane could not be here tonight because he was here until after 10:30 last night. And I was here until 10, and I was just thinking, they're doing the budget, it's gonna be approved, and I had my coat on and I was thinking I'm out the door, and then all of a sudden there were some questions about the parking budget. Took my coat off real quick and I had to answer 10 o'clock, but it starts at 6 anymore, so it's a long. And I'll just tell you about what they asked about the parking, and it was, they're still confused about why we were taking money out of the parking fund and showing that it goes into the programs and services fund. And this is the third time I've been asked this question, and I ended up apologizing. I said, honestly, I'm not making myself clear apparently, because I keep getting the same question, but I said, this is symbolic. This is to show that this is the way it should be, and that they're moving down this path, and this is where they want to be in the future. This is the first step. But I think that maybe some of them didn't always realize that we were paying for our operations out of the parking fund. I honestly can't tell you, but and then the mayor did question, I don't know if he was questioning or if he was reaffirming that, since the fees and fines were raised, all of that money was supposed to be saved, all of the extra money was supposed to be saved for building a parking deck. And then he wanted to know how much was in that fund. And clearly there's some misconception there as well, because there is no separate fund. As you all know, we have carryover. We have $1.5 million at the end of this year projected, but it's not earmarked in a different fund. And so there was quite an account. Yeah, it's all in but there was quite a bit of confusion about that as well. So it was about a 15-minute grilling at 10 o'clock last night. So the other things that they did do last night, they had a resolution to accept the special assessment role and schedule a December 4th public hearing, and that was approved. So far, there has been no one come forward to say anything about the assessment. They have all these different hearings that the city council puts through, and you can write a letter, or you can come and say, I'm not going to pay that over again, but no one has. So that's all kind of good. There was the first reading of a proposed ordinance that would create a licensing and a regulatory framework for SDRs. That took a long time. There was some discussion about home sharing and whether that should be added to it, but that was eliminated really at the very beginning of that discussion. But the rest of the discussion revolved around, were the words correct? Should the word tenant be used or occupant be used? And they had a packed house, and I think there were many out there who wanted to say, these should be legal, we need more and more of them, because they wanted to do it with their house, and these shouldn't be legal because they're bugging me when I'm in my neighborhood, They didn't get a whole lot of that. They got some of it, but they didn't get a whole lot of it because it took so long to do all this parsing of the way it should be worded. So the 1% property tax administration fee was approved. This is something that communities do all over the state. Almost, I don't know the exact number, but maybe 90% of the communities in the state choose to enforces tax, one, a property tax on residential. And so it could be $30 a year, but if one person pays $30 a year, that's a little bit to them, but if your whole community pays $30 a year, it turned out to be $300,000 for the city budget. And that's now the city budget, the general fund has this extra $300,000 that they can use. And they have lots of things, they wouldn't have balanced their budget this year, they would have been short, so that was a good thing, it passed 4-1. But it was discussed long and hard, nobody likes to raise taxes. The budget was approved, finally at 10:15. They adopted a resolution to execute an MDR grant of $50,000 for the Petoskey Area Regional Expanded Water System Reliability and Wastewater Infrastructure Study. Which was, Lindsay was thrilled about it, it went like that. They did table a proposed resolution that would approve the City of Petoskey Volunteer Board and Commission policy for the RRC recertification process. If you're RRC, which we are, and it's a very technical process and detailed to get to become RRC, but then you have to be recertified every so often, and Shane had prepared some list of things that needed to be approved by council as a part of this, and it was just too late at night, it was after 10:30 by that time. And they also tabled a discussion regarding the process of the city manager's evaluation. He is wanting to be evaluated, and they have not done that. It was over a year here, so but they wanted to come around to maybe a new process than what they've done in the past, so. At least that was an open meeting that they would have done that. They do evaluate the closed session, but. And that was all.
Any questions, comments, concerns for Becky about committees or city staff report? Last item on our agenda, so any board open forum in general?
Oh, wait, me,
Oh,
the fun part.
oh,
Well, I have other stuff, yeah, she does have a fun part. Well, I'll do that in a second, but first piggybacking on the parade stuff that we talked about. I was approached by a downtown business that would like, well, I'll just say Craig Ryan. Or can I?
Yes.
Okay, by Craig Ryan. So, approached by Craig Ryan just yesterday, that they said that, they would like, to sponsor the holiday parade. Very similar to how Stafford's did. He still thought Stafford sponsored it.
So now that they're not.
So that they would like to sponsor the parade. Typically in the past, it was about $3,000 that, so that will come to the board, for the technical, name change, and then the sponsorship amount, I believe.
And it will come in great detail to the board, I would say.
Yes.
Stafford's is a lodging business, that's the only time we have ever given a title sponsor to a business. And once you get into that business with a store, I don't know, but.
I'm pretty sure that was a $10,000 commitment, actually, not 3.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Really?
He says he'll pay anything.
Well, yeah, he's.
Yeah, it was a $10,000 buy-in the first time.
Oh, really?
To name it. Yeah, there was a commitment. It was like $10,000 for a few years.
Yeah.
All right, we'll have to look that up. Really?
Yeah. No, that, whatever the price is, and it was also on a sliding scale, it was to go up as the parade became more successful, which it never did, so we never did up it, but those were prices of, I don't know, Drew, how long ago that was? It was a long time ago, so.
Yeah.
Well, David Marvin was the one who negotiated that.
Ah, interesting. All right, wow.
So.
Well, good, okay.
Yeah.
So those are things that we'll look into, and that will be brought to the board, probably pretty soon. I
would say December.
I would say, yeah, December or January, that way we can really, get it all nailed down super ahead of time. He said, oh, is it too late for this year? And I said, parade Saturday, unfortunately, so.
you might know, sir.
Real quick.
Yeah, right.
On the checklist.
Yeah. well, true.
I never wrote the checks, they just threw me in a different costume later.
Which we still have some if you want to wear one on Saturday.
So
So.
gingerbread kid.
Yeah. So we have that, so that was interesting, you know, nice to have someone approach me for sponsorship, which is always nice. And then we just got done with our ladies opening night on Friday, which I went around, and picked up everyone's buckets. We have a prize contest, or a prize drawing for 3 prizes that I'm actually gonna have 3 of you board members draw for, tonight. So we just got done with that on Friday. I went around, like I said, and picked up all these buckets. We had over 43 participating stores, which was a lot. I think the most that we've had maybe ever. The weather was awesome for it. I hate to take all the credit for it, but the weather was really nice too. And it was a really nice night. Everyone that I've talked to, I'm gonna also do a survey, but everyone that I personally talked to, said it was really great. I even heard from a couple stores that it was their best ladies night that they've had yet, which was really nice. And one of those, people is, Mrs. Cutler, which to get a compliment from Mrs. Cutler is like,
I had heard that.
what?
People came in and said, oh. that was
Yeah. So that was really, really nice. And like I said, it was even, I even heard from the lady that works the radio station said she was driving through and it was really busy. So that was really, really nice. I heard the age demographic was nice, older, younger, in between, which was really, really, nice to hear that. And then we have the parade this Saturday. Obviously at 6 o'clock, so it'll be our last light up the night parade. And then we have a week from Friday is holiday open house, which is nuts that all of these are boom, boom, boom. And then you also have the marketing committee meeting minutes. Starting work on a window decorating contest. The committee decided to continue doing billboards. They think it's a nice marketing tactic, and you know, a nice way to promote downtown Petoskey. We also came up with some guidelines for helping stores. Some stores recently have been doing their in-store events, and how we can help facilitate and promote those events that aren't technically a downtown sanctioned event. But so we came up with some guidelines to help them get the word out with those events. And then working on some holiday mailers, which is something that we haven't done before, sending some nice postcards, really promoting shopping local for the month of December, keeping downtown Petoskey top of mind. But so it's been a little bit pretty busy in our world. But with that, I have a big box of entry slips, not just a printer, but entry slips. And I would love 3 volunteers to draw for me, shake them up. So this is all of them that have were collected from all of the 40 stores. Yeah. And my favorite is a woman that printed her own and brought them, so she didn't have to fill them out.
Wow.
Sheriff Larson.
Sheriff. Field Bumble,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's what I-
so that is for 3rd place, 2nd place. That is for the big box.
That's a lot of entries. We kept having to dump ours and put them into bags.
Yeah.
And put them off the floor, and then we were cutting up pieces of paper.
What is it?
Linnell,
All the meaning.
Linnell Alderlink.
Alder-
Up North
Al-
Carolina.
yeah, she's a friend of mine.
Really? All right, so she's 2nd place. And then who wants to draw for the grand prize?
Make them do it.
Come on now,
All right.
shake it around, grand hoopah. Really, really get in there.
Shake it, don't break it.
I like there's one with nothing on it.
Oh, that was probably.
Where?
Jen Baker.
Oh, I don't know her, but it's exciting.
Very exciting. I'm guessing she was born in 1979. No, Jen Baker, 79 again.
Oh, really?
She's the 79.
It could be that too.
This is the woman that
Same
printed
generation.
their own off and brought them, which I think is awesome. I might just send her downtown dollars.
I think you should. And
It's a consolation prize.
I love that.
As the appreciation gift.
I didn't you want to slow down with, Andy, I'm so sorry, look at, I had you right at the top of the page, and then I went to speak, right there.
Oh, well, that's
And
fine.
then I totally missed you.
And that's it for me. Thank you for participating.
It was a great event, Andy. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was really fun. It's always a favorite. And like I said, to have all the, you know, a lot of the. One store was like, what kind of feedback have you heard? And I was like, pretty good. And they're like, yeah. And I was like, let's lead with that next time, you know, but yeah, so it was really nice. So thank you.
It's, you know, takes a little bit of time to get some legs.
Yeah, and I mean, just the amount, like I said, the age demographics, which I saw younger people, I saw, you know. Yeah, I saw a lot of guys too.
Well, you hear ladies opening night. Right. It's like, it's the ladies night at the bar.
I was gonna say, you should make a dating.
Yeah, that's right, it's safer.
Yeah.
Not that I knows anything about that.
No, I'm a married man.
So is Joe.
That's right.
Yeah, congratulations, Joe. Okay, all right, that's all for me.
So one last time, any open forum, any questions, comments, concerns, anything? With that, then we'll adjourn the meeting. Everybody have a wonderful evening.
Cool, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.